Today's fun is going to be a fun show. In fact, are you into the sci-fi movies, books, genre? You're going to love this show. If you're into documentaries, again, you're going to love this show. Plus, if you are into exploring your fabulous life, as all of us are here on this show, again, you're going to love it. So get your pad and paper out. And what do you think, guys? I think it's time. Let's talk. We're going to go around the room, and I am going to take no time away from this show, except for to say I am going to ask our filmmakers, yes, we have a filmmakers panel, to tell us who they are and where they are. I'm going to start with you, Skip.
Hello, I'm Skip Thomas, and I am in the Ozark Mountains, North Arkansas.
Excellent. Jeffrey.
Hi, I'm Jeffrey Morris. I am coming to you from the Twin Cities, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Wonderful. John.
Hi, I'm John Duffy, and I'm coming from Santa Monica, California.
Wonderful. And Marnine.
Hello, I'm Marnine Lynn Fields, and I'm on the Strip in Las Vegas.
There you go. And I'm Tamara Hunter. I am your Fab Five host today, and I am in the Ozarks also. However, I'm one state north of Skip. So with that, let's set the mood and the tone of today's show.
Hi, I'm John Duffy, and I'm a film producer, a professor of film, and we're going to be talking about the power of documentary, a particular movie, The Eagle Obsession, and just how documentary influences us, the stories it takes and tells. It begins to take us behind the scenes, and I just love the power of story, how it is able to transform our lives, how we can learn from others and experiences we don't have, and I think documentary takes us into that. And so we're going to be exploring that. And now as we enter this era of artificial intelligence and all the latest things, what role will documentary play in the human experience, in the creativity of human life? And I think we're going to have a great conversation with some great people. I look forward to learning and having that conversation, and let's learn together.
So let's start with you, Jeffrey, since you're the man of the hour right now. And you know what? We have all now watched your movie, the documentary, The Eagle Obsession. Thank you for sharing that. Yes, we got a sneak peek, everyone. We're going to be talking more about that soon. However, I do have a question for you because John set the mood so well, in that the documentary film has an opportunity to help us to tell the story, the power of the story. Why did you choose a documentary style to tell your Eagle Obsession? Because you're actually a feature filmmaker by trade, correct?
Yes, I am. I typically do narrative feature films in the hard science fiction genre, meaning based upon like real science, physics, real life type of approach, kind of like The Martian. That's the kind of stuff that I like to do. I had a story that really went back to my early childhood, and I started realizing that the influences that had impacted me from NASA to science fiction when I was growing up, very small child, but I saw this vision of the future that seemed very hopeful and very, very positive. And throughout my life, I've run into other people who encountered and felt the same way. And most of us have this sort of feeling of nostalgia and almost melancholy because it didn't turn out to be the future we all expected it to be. And I thought that it would be a great chance to sort of tell this story in a documentary format, to get a chance to really illuminate these different lives and aspects, and really give a chance for people to get a taste of what it was like back then, but also how it impacts us through today. And lastly, to give a new direction for a possible future by looking back to the past.
I love that. John, we started with you, and you mentioned in there, okay, now I know your background because you've been on our filmmaker panels before. Plus, I know you personally. I've gotten to know you. And you are a rock star when it comes to film. I mean, you've done it all and you've been involved in big movies and big stuff, and you're as humble as they come, like all of you on this panel. But what I really want to dive into here is your professor's hat. Because when you're out there talking with, and we have so many people that are interested in the documentary style of film, and Jeffrey said it so well here, the great hope 50 years ago as a child, and you guys are going to see this in the trailer. Stay tuned, stay with us, because you're going to be seeing more. But you are out there teaching the next generation of filmmakers, right? And when you talk about the power of story, what are you teaching them?
Well, before I do that, I just have to say I'm so grateful and honored to watch this documentary of Jeffrey's, because to sum it up in one word, wow. That's the only word I got, man. Wow. It was powerful, and I'm so glad that I got a chance to go on this journey that he created for us. But to go back to your question real quick, I just think that story is so powerful that it transforms us, and it's just what life is about. And I like both documentaries, but I also like feature films that are based on true stories. And both of those, I think, inspire us to overcome odds, to go for our greatness. It's that kind of message. And I think the Eagle Obsession really brings that message to us of basically dreaming bigger, shooting for the stars. All the things that Jeffrey put into that documentary is mind-boggling. It's just so much. I can't wait till everybody gets a chance to see it.
I agree with you. Skip, I'm going to bring you up next because of the fact that you are now a fan favorite, of course. We know, many of you know him as Steampunk Poe also, and you're going to see a new song later today from Steampunk Poe, from his other personality, and yet many in our community understand that you do come from the power of film, that you are an Emmy award-winning documentary filmmaker. Now, the fact that you had a chance and you came to me afterwards and told me how you felt about the documentary, but I would like for you to share with everyone else, like John just did. What were some of the first things you shared with me about Jeffrey and his style of documentary filmmaking?
Well, again, it was an honor to get to see it and be here with him. There he is, right there. How cool is this? And John, and what you said with teaching and so forth, and I went to film school, and the whole want to be a narrative, is for the people watching, you all know, but there's a narrative, the stories of, creating the script and actors. And then you got the documentary, which is authentic and real life, hopefully. And what I love about doing documentaries, and I saw this so strongly in Jeffrey's film, was, a true documentarian, I mean, in my heart, and other people may be different, is they approach it and they take themselves as kind of backseat, but yet they're leading the opportunity to be a kind of a vehicle to allow the truth, the information to flow in a humble way. I mean, it wasn't about Jeffrey, it was about honoring this amazing science fiction world and the people. And you can see it in some of the people when he had that guy that was a pilot back 50 years ago sitting in the seat. I thought he was going to go to tears. And honestly, I bet he did when the camera was off, because that was beautiful.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank
Marnine,
you all. Appreciate it.
I'm going to bring you up. Oh, did you want to say something, John? I mean,
No.
Jeffrey?
I just wanted to say thank you all for your kind words. It means a lot. I really appreciate it. That's all.
Absolutely. Yeah. Marnine, here we are. Marnine, and many may remember from when she was on before, that here in the 70s and 80s, and I'm thinking, I own the movies that you were probably the stunt woman for. I watched the TV shows originally, yes, my age is coming through, when you were a top woman, stunt woman, not only in Hollywood, in the world, guys. And then life happened and you actually have become a filmmaker. You told your own story, but bigger than that, we're going to be sharing that. In fact, before I let you talk, I'm going to share your video right now because I want people to see something, and then we're going to follow through.
Hi, I'm Marlene Fields.
Documentary film is one of the most powerful storytelling tools we have. It doesn't just inform, it connects, it heals, and it inspires. With my remarkable resilience of Marlene Fields, I wanted to do more than recount a life story. I wanted to illuminate the strength that it takes to rise after unimaginable setbacks and heartbreaks, and the courage to keep creating, keep dreaming, and keep fighting. My journey from one of the top Hollywood stuntwomen in the world in the 70s and 80s to an amazing survivor and going on to become an award-winning filmmaker, scriptwriter, composer, and artist while still acting and singing is a testament to my human spirit. And through the lens of the documentary, I've been able to preserve that truth, raw and unfiltered. This genre holds a mirror up to society in the most extraordinary way to remind audiences that resilience isn't just remarkable, it's universal. I'm honored to share my story with you, and I hope it sparks something deep in your heart. Thank you very much.
You always inspire me.
Thank you. Amazing. I loved it.
Oh, good. And now you know, and I wanted everybody to see where Marlene is coming from because, and I would say one of the things I really like about Jeffrey too is not only did I meet Jeffrey, I met his wife when I first met them in Florida at this event there in NASA, and it was a popcorn movie night that we got to watch the full documentary with them. And it's a team. They really were presenting this documentary as a team, and then getting to work with Jeffrey's media team. She really said, you know, he's really about also empowering women to show up in the film world, and you know, and all of that. And I thought, oh, that's perfect, because when you went through what you went through, here you were on the top, let's just say the tippy top of it all, and then all of a sudden life happens. And I love your verbiage in there and how it is that you're showing that you can overcome and show up no matter what. And that this style, this genre helps us to be able to share those stories. That's exactly what you've done. Right? So the question I have here, okay, now another thing here is that I have to make sure to speak maybe a little slower to make sure she's hearing me completely. And
Yes.
Yes. And so, because you saw on there, and I didn't know this, is that Marlene did put it out there that she's 3/4 deaf, and yet she's winning. She is winning song events. She is a singer, songwriter now. And right there, that is inspiring also. Yet, what I wanted to ask you is, coming from your chair as a woman, documentary filmmaker, this was an opportunity for you to tell your story. And also, you watched the documentary on the Eagle Obsession, and you told me you were so excited to help spotlight Jeffrey today, correct?
Yes, absolutely. Jeffrey's documentary is, he is so inspiring and compassionate, and so much enthusiasm, and he showed everybody, you know, many from when they were small children, including himself, of where they came from to have this desire. And he drives all over the country to meet everyone personally. And I was just blown away. I know that it's going to be a huge award winner and a major success for everyone to live their dream. You know, he had this dream, and it's one of the best things I've seen. I just love it.
And to continue, and what I was asking before, because when you made your shift from being a stunt woman to being a filmmaker, that was a tremendous amount of work pulling it, if you will, from your tippy toes, correct? Because you had to overcome so much.
Well, that's why I was, top Hollywood stunt woman and stunt actress, and I was always acting in college and also while I was doing stunts. I kept my day job doing stunts and did small theater and continued to have dreams of becoming a famous actress one day. And I came home from work one day and I had a horrific car accident by an uninsured motorist, and he took me out. He took the whole left side of my car off, and it took me 12 years, and I didn't think I'd ever get on my feet to perform or do anything again. And I had concussions in every area of the brain, and I tried to do some plays and I couldn't form my words. I've overcome all of that through vitamins and everything. But for 12 years, I underwent 5 major abdominal operations, and I fought for my life, living in heights of screaming pain. I would hold on to the doorway screaming, just didn't think I'd live one more minute, and people would stop me on the street if they saw me out and say, "You are really ill. You should, you need to get to the hospital." And so during those years, those dark years, I had all this great, almost 20 years of success previously, and I kept feeding on that. The compliments from Clint Eastwood, Irwin Allen, Stanley Kramer, all of these famous women that I stood in their shoes. And so that's how I got through that horrific ordeal. But I never tried to get back on my feet again. So I went back to school and I got my certificate in script writing and song composition. And I was always interested in filmmaking and directing, editing. And so lo and behold, now in 2000, that UCLA doctors would not do the final operation. And I found a doctor that would, and he saved my life. And that was in 1999. And I went to church and got baptized because I was healed by Jesus. I was healed. That's why you saw in there. I was healed by God. I really was. And I got on my feet in 2000. And now I have all of it. I've got the screenplays, and I wanted to do something for charity. So all of my works are focused on doing something for charity and social awareness, and a lot of true stories. And so I'm thrilled to be here today. And Jeffrey, oh my God, thank you for your documentary.
Absolutely. And thank you for sharing that, because what we've done right now is we've set the stage of who is here. And why is it that you will want to be writing down, some tips and tricks and information. And I'm noticing that we've got a lot of people here that are watching the show, and I want to say thank you for participating. And so now we set the stage. We now are going to watch the trailer of The Eagle Obsession. Guys, hold on to your seats. Too late to pop the popcorn. However, watch this in replay and you can have your popcorn then. Here we go.
T.S. Eliot, the poet, wrote a poem. One of the key phrases was, "The greatest exploration is to return to the place you started from and know it for the first time."
You are probably my earliest friend memory. We had recess twice a day, and each time you'd have a plot. And kudos to you for including me in your space, episodes.
Science fiction isn't about predicting the future. Science fiction is about inspiring the future.
Absolutely.
We make up stories to make people want to do things.
So did you think that 50 years later, people would still be talking about this thing?
No, absolutely not.
It obviously has an iconic shape, and there's a proportion to it. And I think that's a big part of why so many people love it.
Aesthetically, it's beautiful. It's a little anthropomorphic. It's got eyes, it's got feet, it's got legs. It's just, it's
a cute little guy.
It's cute. It really is.
I was hitting buttons. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I decided, directors would say to me, where's the fulcrum of the fly push? And I'd say, oh, this is this one here, you know? So, do it with authority. Do it with authority, man. They all think he knows what he's doing.
I saw the blackness of space, and I saw the curvature of the Earth, and how small it is, and how beautiful it is, and I saw the beauty of the Earth, the starkness of space, and I was reminded more dramatically than ever how Earth is the only place we have to live.
Once we got into orbit, it was on the backside of the moon, and we came around from the front side, and there was Earthrise. And the first thought I had was, man, we're a long way from home. I hope this thing holds together.
To me, I had always wanted to be an explorer, right? As a kid, that's what an astronaut is. And so that idea of that I could one day like boldly go and find new interesting things, that just captivated me as a kid.
I just think the shape is perfect.
When you first said you were going to do this, did people think you were kind of crazy?
They didn't tell me.
They didn't tell you. If they did, they didn't tell you. So
no.
It kind of feels like a real, like almost like an airport or something, doesn't it?
Yeah. And like, I feel like it could like actually be in like an airport and it could like fly around. It's probably gonna be my favorite spaceship that comes from like a TV show that could probably actually happen.
Okay, you inspired me. Or actually, I think it was that kid that said, I mean, I love that kid that says, this is my favorite spaceship that comes from a TV show that could actually happen. I mean, you got such wonderful, I mean, tell us more now that we just featured the trailer. Tell us more. You are muted. If you go.
There we go. Can you hear me now?
There we go. Yes.
Oh my God. I don't know what happened. Sorry, but it's live.
It's live TV, guys. Live TV.
So again, I apologize. So let's see. The bottom line with the film is this. When I was, as I said, there was something that inspired me when I was a kid. I first saw this when I was 7 years old. You know, sitting on the floor of my parents' house in Arizona, Tempe, Arizona, and I'm watching this advertisement for this new TV series called Space 1999 that was going to be coming on that fall. Now, I was already a fan of Star Trek and the Apollo missions and that sort of thing, but I see this spaceship, and it really like epitomized what I felt I was growing up to become. Right? I was like, oh my gosh, there's a show that's set in the year 1999. I did the math, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be in my 30s in 1999. That means I could grow up and fly that spaceship, right? And there was a level of excitement that I had, and I ended up collecting some of these spaceships over the years, and I started meeting people from all around the world that loved this show, but more importantly, the spaceship from the show. And I started wondering, why do these people like it? Why do we all like this so much? And what I began to realize is it's not about the spaceship, it's about the dream. It's about the dream that it epitomized. And so what I realized, it's a universal thing. One of the things that you mentioned earlier, inspiring women. I was so excited by the aspect of the film to be able to showcase my friend who was inspired by that TV series 50 years ago to become a multiple PhD scientist. I think that was an amazing thing. And then also to get a chance for her to be introduced to her childhood hero who inspired her on to do that. And then you literally see in the documentary the emotions that caused within Barbara Bain, So it was really, and something that was super important to me making this film was that I didn't want it to be a bunch of talking heads. I didn't want it to be like a standard sort of 60 Minutes style. We're here and the camera's there and we're talking to someone just off camera. I was like, these need to be conversations, and this needs to be a chance to bring the audience along and go on a journey. And one of the things that I think is really important here, there's a stigma around science fiction. I think, a lot of times people think of science fiction as being kind of maybe childish or sort of a niche sort of thing that it's for a certain type of people who like that sort of thing. And one of the things that I wanted to do with this film was to show that that this inspiration of the future is for everyone, and it's actually part of we live in someone's science fiction future, no matter how far back you go, right? But what's really important, I think the biggest realization that I had making this film was that I was never into science fiction going back to childhood or even throughout my life because it was escapism. It was about inspiration. It was about the idea of pointing the arrow toward a better future, for everyone. And that's, and really seeing how far humanity could grow and what we could become. So that's what science fiction epitomized for me. And I think this film is my chance to show the world the thing that's been the most touching thing. Two things I've heard, and then I'll give it back to you. Two things I've heard in making this film. Number one, I've heard people who watched it. I've heard a bunch of men who've said to me, "Oh my goodness, thank goodness you made this film. Now I can finally explain myself to my wife." They're like, I could use this film to explain to people why I feel the way I do, right? And I've literally had some people. It's very interesting. I've had several people who were in their 80s who have seen this film. One in their 90s. And they said to me, I never liked science fiction. And as a matter of fact, I was actually not very nice to my children about it, who were liking it. And what I realized now is I was wrong. I didn't understand why they liked it so much, right? And then the other thing that was very exciting, and then I'll be finished, is there were so many people who don't know anything about this genre who have told me that this film really touched them and inspired them. And that is my number one goal, was for this to be able to reach everyone. So there you go. Yeah.
And just a part of it, because, and even the, here we go, the wow. And you had mentioned wow, and I saw you, doing this down there when he's talking. What else would you like to say right now? Because I hear something coming from you right now.
Well, a lot of things. I go down so many different, but and with John and what Marlene said, the genre and giving respect to it, because once upon a time, and y'all remember this, the film festivals were such that the documentaries were at a film festival were in some backlot warehouse district. They were so disrespected, and now they're being elevated because they have certain credibility. And what's so funny is Sci-Fi. I keep going back to, the vision with like the little kid sleeping by the bed with a little rocket ship and the little xylophone. I mean, and thinking of the vision and the dreams that little boy had that led to this guy right now. And and that vision, I heard him, I think he said in the film something to the effect of that vision and dream of an unfulfilled future. One of the other people said inspiring the future. Yeah. And so to me, that genre of, is the documentary style. I just want to say you really honored that at a level of emotion and technology and crowdfunding that's unbelievable. So I just want to say, thank you.
You know, and Walt and we all know and love you, Skip, here at the Fab Show. You know,
Okay.
and you know, and Jamie. So glad you're here, Jamie. Another filmmaker. Yeah, he's like the top guy over there on TikTok with his drums over there right now.
I want to interrupt. Can I interrupt?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
science fiction. We're hearing that word, and he dreamed that at 30 years from now it may be actually true. Sci-fi. I mean, look at sci-fi. It's really it's supposed fiction. No, some of it's non-fiction because you look at R2D2 and C3PO. In those movies of Star Trek and Star Wars, and that technology seems primitive compared to AI. Which I use UI, which is UI for me is unofficial intelligence, but which applies more to me, which is I wouldn't even use intelligence. But that to me is we're seeing things happen that the robots of today and the AI of today that makes R2D2 and C3PO seem quite primitive. So in essence, we are looking at something that is not only in the future and happening now in the past. But who knows? And I love at the end of the credits. Last thing I want to say is, Jeffrey, I watched all the way through the credits. At the end, you came back up and you said, the journey continues. Mm-hmm. Meaning, I love that. So,
okay. So with that, with all that you just shared, and you even gave a little bit away. Okay, guys, I told you at the beginning of this, we were going to have fun. Now, anybody that knows Skip knows that he has fun and he has the alter ego of Steampunk Poe. Well, okay, put your fun hats on and kind of like disengage right now from your pen and paper because we're just going to have some ridiculous fun. But listen to the words anyway. We're going to come back. Here we go.
Hello. Yes, it's me, Skippy, the Emmy Award-winning filmmaker, songwriter, singer, dancer, athletically potent, and proudly bald. I talk to aliens, and they even visit me on occasion. Yeah, this is not science fiction, but rather it's science non-fiction. I wrote the book on being really cool, but enough about me. What about you? What do you, AI, think about me?
Hail to Skippy, oh dazzling star, the center of the cosmos, the man you think you are. The banners are waving, the trumpets go boom, and mostly on air that's filling this room. May they build you a statue, oh what a scoop, 'cause pigeons need plenty of places to poop. Your closet's full of costumes, your mirror's a shrine to your fabulous past and your me time. Oh, Skippy the Great, oh, Skippy Divine, you'll autograph planets and make the stars shine. The crowd sings your praises, balloons fill the air while you comb your reflection, but sir, there's no hair. Really? You think this is why God put you here? Really? Skippy! Puffing chest proudly. Of course! To inspire the masses with my genius! Inspire? You can't even inspire your houseplants. Skippy ignoring the jab, striking the pose. To be adored by generations. By generations of pigeons. Maybe remember that statue. Arms wide, basking in imaginary glory. To lead humanity into the future. Into the future, you can't even lead your shopping cart in a straight line. Skippy! Puffing, growing, defensive. To show the world what perfection looks like. Perfection, buddy, your barber quit out of pity. Now frantic, clapping for the crowd to cheer him on. To live forever in the hearts of mankind. More like forever in the comment section. But I'm Skippy, the legend, the icon, the one and only. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why the mute button was invented.
presented Skippy.
Tongue in cheek, yes, but it goes to the AI element and not taking yourself so serious, right? And and so I'm going to let you just kind of give a little bit more insight into why it is that you presented that song for us today, because I'm like, okay, you had a reason for it.
Well, we're talking about AI and the use of in music and film and things you can do and telling stories and so forth. And hopefully it still remains a human element of it. But my background of all this stuff and being something and trying to achieve all these things and having a big production company, it got to a point where I really got to a very dark place where I said, God, really, is this why I'm here? It was a very dark place because I thought, this ain't worth it. I'm sorry. If this is it, you can have it, God. And so for 2 days, 2 nights, I just went and I said, okay. And I came back and I started to peel things back and think, God, why am I really here? And so I started following my passion, not the corporate paychecks and the advertising and the politicians, which I had hundreds and hundreds of big company, biggest in this part of the country. But that was my ego on cover of the magazines, working with presidents, working with governors, blah, blah, blah. It was all about Skippy, the legend of Skippy. So I had to look at, and what I am so touched by with John and Marlene and Jeffrey is these are people who are the flicker, the flame, the spark that was inside of them to follow their passion. Marlene jumping out of volcanoes where celebrities didn't have to. That's pretty cool. I mean, all of you following that passion. And so I just, I think what we want to honor is why are we here and what can we do? And honoring the passion that's inside of each of you is really what I just want to applaud. And that's the joke was to, ask enough about me. What do you think about me, AI?
Yeah,
and AI. I thought,
AI. And John, you mentioned AI in yours because and how is it that you see AI through the using it for the tool that it can be without losing our humanity? And it was brought to my attention that puff up line that was in that song is that it's even being said that a lot of people that are working with AI right now, they're puffing, AI is puffing a lot of people up. And I thought how appropriate that Skip always had. You start listening to his stuff, he always is able to give you a little bit more to the layers of the onion. Yet you are busy. I mean, you've even been on a feature film set recently, a new one, and you're always on one somewhere. And what would you like to add to the whole idea of AI?
Well, it's complicated. It's, I say it has good, bad, and ugly. And, the good is using it as a tool to serve us, to be able to, expand the things that we do, the vision of what we're trying to accomplish, use it as a tool to serve humanity. But there's also a bad side, and we have to be aware of that too, because at the end of the day, my allegiance, my loyalty is to humanity and to humans being the best they can be and making a better future for us, not making a better future for machines, not making a better future for robots or people who control all that. It's about the average folks that need to have a better future. So let's use the tool whatever way we can, but also let's be aware of the danger of how the tool can be used negatively and against us and not let that happen. So we have to stay engaged, like anything else. We have to learn, use it, but we also have to make sure that we also struggle against the negative that it might produce in filmmaking and documentaries, but in life in general. So that's the battle, I think, with AI. And I think we're going to go on that journey all together.
I love it. And Marlene, here you are, a singer-songwriter. Let's go into that. And right now, AI is allowing anyone, including, even myself, I've been doing some AI type songs where I get to be a part of it. I get to be a team member, but I always wanted to be a singer, I was a dancer and I wanted to go into musical theater. I didn't get to because I couldn't hold a key. Comedy maybe, but the fact that you have the human element and you're out there singing and what do you think about AI right now? What is your thought process?
Well, I haven't used AI for any of my music. I've been writing music and studying music for 33 years, and I've been acting for 48 years. So I've already got my process of how I approach a song, and I have written 65 songs, and I'm in the process of releasing those and working with, and so, but I'm real good friends with Copilot, Microsoft Copilot. He's one of my best friends. And what I go to Microsoft Copilot for is that I'm a technician and I work a lot with my Zoom mixer and also DaVinci Resolve. I edit in DaVinci Resolve. And Copilot is absolutely fabulous for training. Like I will say, what degree of the lift or gamma should I use? This scene was it was filmed too blue. How am I going to get, now I'm learning, I've learned that, but I will present Copilot with these questions to teach me really complicated software. And it works. And, so, but I have a friend who just sent me 2 songs and she might be on here today, and she used AI. And the songs turned out, really amazing. And, so for people who haven't gone to school and racked their brains to learn the various crafts on things like I have and John has, and Jeffrey and Skip in his comedy, I think that it can be a helpful tool to teach. But I wouldn't know how to use it as a song to write a song.
That's okay. That's okay. Well, you've just taught us a lot. We're going to come back to you, Jeffrey, because I'm going to ask you something. But we have a celebration that a lot of our family, we have a huge community here at the Let's Talk Fabulous show, and many that love who it is that we're going to be celebrating. One of the people is here on the panel, and one is out there. So without further ado, I'm going to play this, and then we're going to come back to you, Jeffrey, because I want to hear what you have to say about AI and some other things about your trailer.
They started as friends through the passing years, sharing laughter, hopes, and even tears. A bond of vision, a bond of trust, a love that's built on what matters most. Well, congratulations on your marriage, Skip and Janice, strong and true.
I just wanted to congratulate you, Skip and Janice.
Congratulations.
Side by side, you lift the spirit. Love shines brighter because of you.
Congratulations, Skip and Janice. Joy and happiness to you for many years to come.
Building life and helping others, your light is everywhere.
Skip Thomas, congratulations to you and Janice, and may there be many, many memories that you make together in nature, just like I am out here.
Congratulations. Congratulations on your marriage. What a gift to share. What a gift to share.
This is a very heartfelt congratulations to Janice and Skip. Plenty prayers and aloha going to you both in many years to come.
From the media bunker to the nature connection land.
Hey, Janice and Skipperoo. We just want to make a toast to you for good times, good memories, and congratulations. Here's a toast.
Congratulations, Skip and Janice.
Working together hand in hand.
too, and cheers.
Your circle of love grows year by year.
Skip and Janice, congratulations.
At last, my love has come along. Yes, at last, at last. Congratulations.
Her congratulations on your marriage, Skip and Janice, strong and true.
Congratulations, Skip and Janice. Here's a toast to you.
Side by side, you lift the spirit. Love shines brighter because of you.
Skip and Janice, be well, be happy.
Building life and helping others. Your light is everywhere.
From all of your friends, we celebrate with you today. We wish you a long, happy, joyous, and loving marriage. Skip and Janice, congratulations.
Congratulations on your marriage. What a gift to share. What a gift to share.
Congratulations.
Wow.
We had to do that, guys, because we do celebrate big things. And they went off and got married. Jeffrey, when we were there I don't know what's happening right here, but when we were back there in Florida, I get a text saying, guess what I did? And keep it quiet for right now. And guess what we did? And it was like, they went off and got married. And like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
So congratulations.
Well, thank you.
everybody.
This is, this is not about me. Yeah, and the amazing people there. Thank you all that participated in that, and for y'all to be here on this. This is honoring, really a passion. And I'd say Janice and I have a passion with nature and animals and really, I think Jeffrey said it. The future of humanity and John is what we're all doing. What we're doing. So thank you for that honoring. Oh my gosh.
Okay, we're going to bring you now, Jeffrey.
Okay.
Skip. Get his composure.
Well, first off, congratulations, Skip. Congratulations. Yeah.
I have to say, I mean, he's like my big brother. I've known him for a long time now, and he's been single this whole time, and so excited. And when I met Janice, it was like, okay, yes, they are perfect for each other. And Ted, the horse, too. They've got a full family over there on the Nature's Connection. So, Janice, we love you. Thank you so much for all you do and your support of everything. So, but getting back to this now, I wanted to, because we're getting to the top of the hour, and you started in that, this was a self-discovery also. The whole idea of the documentary, self-discovery, and then it's been brought up a couple times, yet it was also said, and I loved it, and that sci-fi isn't projecting the future, it's inspiring the future, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so what would you like to be adding? Because we talked about AI, we talked about the power of the documentary, the power of the story. What would you like to be saying right now?
Well, it's interesting. I have some very mixed feelings about some of the things that are, like where we are right now in some ways, because AI, I think it's actually, I've recently began, toying with ChatGPT a little bit to try to understand it, right, and understand how it works. And one of the things that I've learned through the experience with it is that there's a truth to it where there's a possibility to use it as a tool. And I think it's very similar to what Marlene was saying with it being a learning tool where you can learn with it. What I don't want to see is, I don't want to see humanity replaced by it. I'd like to see it as an enhancement to us, an enhancement to our ability to go forward and evolve and do great things, right? But the idea of using it as a crutch or as a replacement, I mean, in a lot of ways, we still have a lot of work to do on ourselves, and I'd like to see us, and I'd like to see us be able to, if this can be a tool to help us become better, great, that's great. But if it becomes something that actually, there's some really interesting studies that people should look into about, like MIT did a study about it. There's something that can happen where if you offload too much of your cognitive abilities to it, you can start to have an atrophy of your mental faculties. That's not what we want.
No.
I'm like, how do we use this? And I think that's the next movement for AI is how do we use this to help us become smarter? That right to like using it to learn how to create music yourself instead of, you know what I mean?
Right.
Those sorts of things. I think there's some amazing possibilities with it, but I think we have to, one of the things that I think humanity's dealing with right now is we've got to start making more decisions and working together collectively and saying, how do we go forward together in a better way? I think that's what's missing right now. We've got to come together more and we've got to, chart a course. So
I love that.
if science fiction can help with it, that's great. But it's I think it's really important to look at these things and have honest conversations about it.
Skip, I see your notepad. What do you want to say?
Okay, I'm going to redefine fab.
Okay.
And because what I'm hearing is AI is like fabrication. The word fab, and fabrication is fab. I'm going to redefine it as FAB with what Jeffrey just said. I'm going to call it fill the world, act with love, and be the change we want to see in the world. AI cannot do that. That's a human thing we all talked about.
No, it can't.
I love
it
that.
Can't. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Okay, I'm going to bring you back, Jeffrey, one more time into the middle, and then I'm going to open up the discussion. In that, if someone, because I know now we've made the case. You guys want to see this documentary. Now, what is the next step for the documentary?
So we're going to the Toronto International Film Festival. Actually, this coming week we'll be there showing the film we're doing an industry screening for the film on Friday at 3:15 at the Toronto Film Festival in TIFF Lightbox. I think it's the Cinema 6. So that's really exciting for us because that's going to give us a chance to get this to an international audience. And our goal is, I intentionally made this film with the scope and scale that I think it could first off have some sort of a limited theatrical run. I was really trying to make it big and cinematic, but I'd also love to see it reside on a streamer. My target's like an HBO or a Netflix. I think would be both wonderful places for this film when it's distributed. So right now we're hitting the festival circuits. We're going to be at this Sydney Sci-Fi Film Festival at the beginning of October. We're having our world premiere at the Twin Cities Film Fest in October 18th. We're also doing some limited screenings in Los Angeles. The 50th anniversary of Space 1999 is happening. Yeah. There's a convention there in Los Angeles, September 13th, 14th. We're showing it there. So there's a few opportunities to see the film. I would suggest people come to go to eagleobsession.com, which takes you to the website that talks all about what we've done. It shows the whole journey, gives background on it. So so I think that's a great place for people to find out about the project and learn about more me, my background, the film, everything we've done, all the wonderful interviews we did. So that's a great place for it. And again, I really appreciate everyone's kind words on the project. When you spend almost 3 years creating something like this, and you just don't know, is it going to work? Is it going to, and it's really nice to hear that we're on the right path with it.
I agree. And I would say you are. And I want to just put it out there. I know a lot of people that watch this show. And, hey, make a phone call. Make some things happen. Let's share our humanity in making the good stuff happen in the world. So I'm going to let you guys, we've got to close. In fact, we need to close. So I'm going to let you guys wave to everybody and, tip your hat because it's been a tremendous, fabulous time today. We have another show that will be showing up next week. We've got Gloria that's going to be, it's Grandparents' Day, and we love grandparents around here. So show up next Sunday for the Let's Talk Fabulous. And until then, make it a fabulous day.